I put together the most stacked home run derby in history to answer one question. Who is the greatest home run hitter of all time? It's a topic that has been and will be debated for generations. And while the argument can never be truly settled, today, with the help of MLB The Show, I'm going to try to get an answer by putting the hardest hitters in history head-to-head to find the best of the best. First up, he hit 755 career home runs and was the definition of consistency as the only player in history to hit 20 home runs in 20 different seasons. Hammer and Hank himself, Hank Aaron. Up next, this guy was so good, they named a candy bar after him. He hit 714 home runs in his career, but most impressively, he did it on a diet of cigarettes and hot dogs. The great Bambino, Babe Ruth. Our next hitter hit 660 home runs in his career, and he also made one of the most famous catches in baseball history. Your grandpa will tell you that he made plays no one else will ever be able to make, even though you see people make those plays all the time in today's game. The Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays. Next we have the kings of 90s baseball. He hit 630 home runs in his career, but he's also known for his backwards hat and being a video game superstar. Let's hope he doesn't pull a muscle warming up with Wii Sports. The sweetest swing baseball has ever seen, the kid, Ken Griffey Jr. Our next contenders have to be introduced together. These two will forever be remembered for their home run battle in 1998, as well as their incredible dietary habits involving a suspicious amount of protein shakes. Also known as the Bash Brothers, Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire. And finally, we'll round out the lineup with two modern-day players. Some baseball fans will tell you he's the real home run king, but at 6'7", 280 pounds, he could probably hit a home run with a Pringles can. The Yankees' newest captain, Aaron Judge. And finally, a man who's been dominant in just about every category since he entered the league. When he's not hitting home runs, you can find him catching actual fish with his bare hands in his backyard pond. The best player alive not named Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout. And for those of you wondering, no, Barry Bonds is not in this competition because Barry Bonds is not in this video game. But now that we have our lineup, let's get right into it. Our first matchup in round one, Mike Trout versus Hank Aaron. Trout's up first. He gets off to a pretty slow start, and he can't seem to get enough distance on the ball. But then, he hits 3 straight home runs over 480 feet, earning him his 30-second bonus. After 6 homers, we see an embarrassing swinging strike in the home run derby, but he finishes strong in the bonus round, and he ends up with 17 home runs, including a 494-foot bomb. Hank Aaron's up next, and he needs 18 to advance out of the first round. He starts off as slowly as Trout did, but once he gets going, he really gets going. His consistency shows up, and while he doesn't put up crazy numbers, he hits his 18th home run in extra time to just beat out Trout. Aaron advances to round 2. Our next matchup is between Sammy Sosa and Ken Griffey Jr. Sosa is up first, and he gets off to a hot start going yard in his first 4 swings. He's performing really well, and he has 16 homers with 8 seconds left and still has the bonus round to go. But then, he puts in one of the choke jobs of the century. He goes homerless on his final 6 pitches, and 16 is the number that he finishes up with. Let's see if the kid can put him away. Coming out with the backwards hat and the all-black bat, looking cooler than anyone else in the competition, Griffey starts off and he is pulling the hell out of these balls, just barely sneaking them inside the foul pole. Griffey actually has the lowest power rating in this entire derby, but you wouldn't know it. These balls are getting out of here in a hurry. And on the final swing in regulation time, he hits number 17, knocking Sosa out without even needing the bonus round. Next matchup, Mark McGwire versus Willie Mays. McGwire comes to the plate looking like an absolute tank. It's hilarious to this day that people were surprised to find out he was juicing. I mean, just look at the guy. And I'm pretty sure he gets a PED boost in the derby because he had a streak of 7 home runs in a row during this round, and he ended up with the highest total yet, finishing with 21 home runs. Mays definitely has his hands full, but he steps up to the plate. He's pretty old, so he just needs a quick stretch. All right, let's go. I think the stretching worked because Willie had a stretch where he hit a homer on 8 out of 10 pitches, and the 8th one was this beauty off the foul pole. And as regulation time is up, Mays has 17. 4 more to tie. And I'll warn you, what you're about to see may be upsetting to some viewers. He homers on the first pitch. He homers on the second pitch. And on his third. It looks like he homers, but they didn't count it. Then he homers on his final swing what would have been the tying home run. But at the end of the day, he comes one short. Let's take another look at that hit. Right off the top of the fence. I don't know about you guys, but it looks like it's over to me. This is surely one of the most controversial results the baseball world has ever seen. Mark McGwire advances to round 2. And finally, we have a battle of two Yankee greats, Aaron Judge and Babe Ruth. Aaron's up first, and it looks like he's trying to prove a point. 490, 484, 481. The record books say that Babe Ruth hit the longest home run in history at 575 feet, but if you ask me, that's completely bullshit. Judge finishes with an impressive total of 19 home runs. Let's see if that's enough to hold off the Babe. Ruth starts off with 463 and 491. Okay. Now, famously, Babe Ruth routinely stepped to the plate with a 74-inch, 45-pound bat, and while that gave him enough juice to be the home run king for 39 years, it wasn't quite enough to beat Judge. They tied. So, we go to a tiebreaker. Who can hit the most home runs in 1 minute? Judge performs like he's betting on Ruth to win and only manages 3 home runs. It's over before it even gets started. But wait, Babe Ruth steps to the plate and he sucks more than anyone could imagine. He doesn't hit a single home run in the entire minute and Judge advances. Next, we're on to our semifinal matchup between Ken Griffey Jr. and Hank Aaron. KGJ, which is a nickname I just made up, matches his pace from the first round. Unfortunately, he ends up pulling a few too many hits foul and finishes with just one more than his first round total at 18 home runs. Let's see if that's enough to beat Hank Aaron. Hank comes up and he starts off a bit slow, but he finishes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 straight home runs. And he gets number 19 with 15 seconds left in regulation. Not even close. And now we have our final matchup to determine who faces Hank Aaron in the final round. Mark McGwire versus Aaron Judge. Unfortunately for Judge, he chokes under pressure and he puts in the worst round of the Derby yet. He finishes with only 16 home runs. If McGwire's second round is anything like his first, that will not be enough for Judge to advance. And I'll save you guys the time. McGwire wipes the floor with him and hits his 17th home run with 20 seconds left in regulation time. The championship round is now set. Hank Aaron versus Mark McGwire. But before we get to that, if you're enjoying this content, hit that subscribe button. Every video I upload is a certified banger, so don't be a scrub and hit that sub. And if you're really enjoying this content, then go follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Jarodactyl. It's the best place for me to connect with my viewers and do more dumb baseball stuff in MLB The Show. Thanks. Now back to the championship round. Up first is Mark McGwire. He chugged a huge glass of milk in the dugout before stepping to the plate, and he has Aaron outweighed by at least 100 pounds. Let's see what he can do to set the tone. Fun fact, growing up in the 90s, McGwire was my favorite player as a kid. Maybe it was because he smashed 70 home runs in a single season, or maybe it was because I thought he was Stone Cold Steve Austin in a baseball uniform. Either way, it's good to finally see him in MLB The Show. I think Marky Mark knew that he was my childhood hero because he absolutely goes off in this final round and ends up with a staggering total of 23 home runs. Based on what we've seen so far today, that very well may be enough to secure the title. And finally, Hank Aaron steps to the plate, and he needs an impossible 24 home runs to win. He starts off with a decent pace, but he really needs to step it up if he wants to win. And I think he knows that, because for his 12th home run of the round, Aaron hit the longest home run in this competition at a massive 510 feet. It must be in the Sox. Hammer and Hank finishes regulation with 18 home runs. He needs to be perfect in the bonus round to tie. He hits the first one, but he misses the second, and that's going to do it. A valiant effort, but it just wasn't enough to win. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the all-time home run derby champion, according to a silly video game simulation, Mark McGwire. So I'm sure that settles it. Mark McGwire is the undisputed king, and no one will ever debate it for the rest of time. If you like more silly video game simulations, then watch this video, where I broke the game by giving a 0 overall player a 125 speed rating. Thanks for watching.